Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Marvel's Venom. Today we're having a look at web-slinging heroine's Spider-Girl. Spot's of course going to be having a look at the entire series as we build ourselves Marvel's Venom or Space Venom. Down below, web-slinging heroines, Spider-Girl. She comes with the main torso. Obviously, the reasoning why we're going to start with this figure first, and then we're going to build onto Venom from there. Outside the box, we've got ourselves Spider-Girl. On the flip end of it, we've got Silk, which was the other figure in the back here. Marvel's Silk, Spider-Girl. These fierce females fight for justice with quick reflexes, super strength, and classic web-slinging action. Other figures down below, there is the Ultimate Spider-Man, regular Spider-Man, Electro, Silk, Spider-Girl, and Hobgoblin. Collect all of them and you can build yourself Venom, which actually I gotta admit looks pretty good, even though a departure from what I always think of as Venom. To check out more from Hasbro, head over to www.hasbro.com/Spider-Man. Spot's gonna take a break and get this opened up, and we're gonna start our reviews with Spider-Girl, and is also going to be starting our series as we put together Venom. So there's lots more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Let's first have a look at the torso, and then we'll have a look at Spider-Girl. The torso is very much Venom. The very large spider emblem on the back that wraps itself around to the back of the figure torso. I thought actually at first glance that it was only just a black torso with the inclusion of the white, but upon closer inspection, it looks like they've added a secondary band of a darker black that makes up, I guess, this area here, or more importantly, down the sides, and then right underneath the areas of the emblem, the spider symbol there. Not really much to be said so far for it. There's no arms, there's no legs, there's no head, there's no real Venom just yet. It's just a stump. But it's also to note as well that the peg points that attach the legs are the exact same size, as opposed to the ill-fated Dormammu, which I struggled so much to get that leg in place. Let's hope this Venom is a lot easier. Not really, again, much to be said for it, but Spot promsies here. We're going to add on to this until we get ourselves a completed Venom, so stay tuned for that. Let's put that to the side. Okay, let's have a look at Spider-Girl, which for a figure that has 0 additional sculpts added to the primary body mold that they used, for this simply just being paint, I think the figure turned out exceptional. Let's first have a look at the head, and then we'll work our way down. The face sculpt is very pretty. The webbing, I thought for the most part it was clean. There's a little bit of a hiccup when we get down to the torso area where the web doesn't quite connect itself properly to where the next web starts. But that's very, very small. The short hair sculpted also nicely, which at first glance looked like it was all one singular dark brown. But if you tip the figure back just a little bit, you'll see actually that the color is not dark brown, but more of a medium brown, and then they've added a darker brown to kind of break up and give character to the individual strands of hair. It's subtle, but I do appreciate that it's not just all brown. Like there's different colors in there, just to kind of give it some extra character. But certainly one of the prettier looking face sculpts, though you really can't see her eyes, it's just the white vacancies that are on the Spider-Man, masks. She gets that as well. She's got some silver painted in on the piercings of her ears, which is a nice touch on both sides. And something small that I actually quite like is this gunmetal metallic gray, metallic silver that they've used for the little accent areas on the arm bands and the areas around her shoulders. That also carries over to the lower areas of the legs just before you start getting to the territory of her knees. The blues and reds are very familiar sights to be seen for Spider-Man, and carries over very much to Spider-Girl here, which notably doesn't have a spider emblem on the back, based more on the character design. Got a little bit of paint that looks like it might have been scraped off or just omitted on the back of her thigh. But as I mentioned before, the webbing is pretty clean. I think that is a defining part to a toy company. Spider-Man figures. Spider-Man figures, I think, is the level of QC where it defines whether they can do a good job of mass producing these figures or a poor job. Because Spider-Man webs, it's as clear as day. It can either be really bad or really good. And Spider-Girl, I think, here is pretty good. Pretty good, actually. When it comes to her posability, it's on par with what you would expect, but a good range of motion in the head. Look how much it tips back and forth, up and down. Hinges on the arms, full rotation on both, obviously. Bend at the elbow, rotation on the arm as well. Rotation on the wrists, which also allow a pivot. Let's not forget the pivot. Upper torso ball joint. I mean, this figure to me is the type of figure that screams like get it on a peg or get it on something like a waist clip where you can have her suspended. You know, you can get her in all the super cool poses that a Spider-Man figure would be in, but just incorporating that into a female character. And I think there's lots of range of potential there for this figure to be super posable and on display in a really neat looking pose. But as we mentioned though, ball joint in the top torso there. Good range of motion on the ball joint in that leg area. Swivel cut on the about mid thigh or so. Double hinge knee. Look at the amount of clearance you can get on that knee. And finally, not only a back and forth motion on the ankle, but also a slight, very, very slight ankle pivot. I would say this is my favorite figure from this wave, but truthfully, it's also the first figure that we had to look at. It would be ridiculous for me to make such an assumption without having a look at the rest of the wave, so gosh darn it, we're just going to have to look at the rest of the wave. In the meantime, I think we started high. High. A good figure, good paint, good sculpt. Yeah, making use of a single mold again and again can get a little tiresome, but when you do a good paint job on it, that's still when a figure can shine despite the fact it's using the same mold. Spider-Girl gets high marks for me, and certainly can't wait to get the rest of the figure assortment opened up. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends. This was the Venom wave. We were looking today at Spider-Girl. Stay tuned, guys. Lots more to go. I mean, look at the state that Venom is in. He's not going to do anything. We obviously have to do more unboxing, so we're going to do that, get the rest of this guy put together, and then have a look at Venom. So certainly more videos are heading your way, guys. Let me know down below what you think of this particular figure, and I'll see you next time.